What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with a very brief statement before the start of this video. And anyway, guys, as of September 1st, my book, Ghosts and Mysteries of Bradley County, Tennessee, has hit Amazon shelves, or Kindle shelves. I'm not sure exactly what. Anyway, long story short, Kindle, Amazon, Kindle, they're all owned by the same people. Anyway, you guys, I'm super excited. This is my very first self-published book. And anyway, I thought, I would just share it with you guys. You can find the link to this book in the description box below. If you've ever wanted to find a way to support the channel or support my adventures to keep this boat afloat, well, this is a perfect idea. You can give it as a gift to a friend, a family member, or just a book to share around the campfire for this fall season. Because as you all know, haunt season is upon us. It's my favorite time of year, my favorite filming time of year, and you know what? This book is awesome as well. But anyway, guys, I'm going to let the cameras roll. This was a fun vlog to make. It's a really good one, so let those cameras roll now. What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all from Big South Fork National River and Recreational Area. It is a national park here in southeast Kentucky. And today, you guys, we are in the ghost town of Blue Heron, or better known as Mine 18. It operated from 1937 until about 1963 when it shut down December of that year. And anyway, you guys, it's been abandoned ever since. But the last few years or so, it has been turned into a part of the Big South Fork National River and Recreational Area. And well, there's not really that many buildings left over from around that time, but one of the main buildings that is still around is their coal tipple. My friend Larry, who is a fan, friend, and follower of my channel, he went to this place a few years back, and he tagged me in his post of when he went there last. And well, right around this time, I had just gotten done going to Nuttleburg. And if you have all been to Nuttleburg, West Virginia, they're a ghost town. They still have a lot of foundations, and they still have their coal tipple as well. But theirs is red. But this is cool to see that they also have one of these here on the property. They also have Mine 18, which goes over there. I believe over there anyway. We're going to walk it. But most of all, just check out their tipple. Looks like they even have a few coal cars left over from the time. I mean, just look at these things. Obviously, they've made it to where you can't get on them, which is a good thing because you don't want people messing around on these. And plus, they have they've removed the stairs from here, I think so anyway. But anyway, this is just so cool to see these old mining cars. And also, we are standing where one of the tracks once went. Over there is the Interpretive Center. But this kind of shows you what these coal cars look like. And well, you can obviously tell that it's seen a bit where it's a bit worse for wear. They have a few of these coal cars, and you can see how they once did it. You see the coal would come off the mountain, and it would come down the chute. It would come down into these things. It would pour into these coal cars. It'd be taken to a what do you call it? A coke oven. There we go. It would be put in a coke oven, and it would be intensified. All the impurities would be burned out of it, and then it would go to be used. And nowadays, well, They just sit here quietly. And also, if you go online to the National Park Service's website for this place, you'll see some of the older photos of when this coal tipple was abandoned back in the 70s. It was kind of sad, really, but I'm glad that the National Park Service took over. And now there is a coal mining camp not far from here called Bartell. We might stop by there as well today. And from what I've seen online, it does look like that coal camp, it has a lot more of original stuff. It's also got a lot of coal trains in it too. As you all know, I love my trains. That's how I grew up, and that's how it's gonna be. But anyway, dude, this is awesome. I wonder if, well, I'm pretty sure they do train rides, because the tracks over there are still in use. You can see that there's also a depot that is created from the Interpretive Center. In fact, here is a really cool side-by-side representation of one of the older photos from, I'm guessing, what was around in the 40s. You can see how they had all that slag and how all that other stuff going in and out. I mean, the building itself really hasn't changed all that much, but it's really cool to see these coal cars, how, you know, as they were being filled and being hauled off. And well, obviously they're not going anywhere, but I just find that so interesting. The side-by-side comparison, that is just so fascinating to me, to see what it was back then versus today. So now that we have seen the tipple and the bottom side of it, we're gonna walk across the bridge. We're gonna check that out, where the tipple runs through the mountainside. We're gonna find the coal mine that they have here. Larry, thank you for sharing this with me. I've only been here about 5 minutes, and this is already really, really cool. And as I'm walking up to the mine, I just want to take note. Look how all that's constructed. I'm pretty sure a coal car once ran back and forth on that. But from what I've seen online, it's become a bridge since then. So we gotta keep going up the hill. And as you all know, and have seen in my videos, past and present, I'm not in the best shape, but I still do like getting out and doing stuff like this. Well, that wasn't too bad of a hike. We're finally up here on the hill. Let's see what they have. I'm actually thinking now that the mine is over here. I looked at a map for a second that was online. But I think first we're gonna walk across the bridge. I do want to see that. But, well, oh, what's this? Notice, Blue Heron Temple Bridge is closed until further notice. All National Park area service beyond this point closed to public use and travel because of emergency conditions. Well, fudge. Well, looks like we can't walk across it today, but we can admire it from here. Over there you can see where we're not allowed to bring your horses on there. Shucks. That's what I was looking forward to today, and it's closed. But hey, at least the mine is right here. Yeah, the map didn't lie. I had it wrong then. First, what's this? Playing on the backup tram track above the tipple. Tram trains backed into this track and onto the old mine 18. Opening in background before pulling forward onto the tipple. That's really interesting. So this is the Blue Heron Mine, otherwise known as Mine 18. Well, at least we're getting to see this. This is, oh my God, this is cool. Look at this old machinery. Imagine these mining cars used to go deep into the mountainside, and it was this thing right here that would push all the coal and slag into the coal cars. It would push them down into the tipple, and it would be taken to by train. So we've got some more equipment right here. It's kind of cool. Looks like it goes back into there a little bit of ways. Let's read this historical marker. Maybe this will tell a little bit more about it. A man should never get too good at mining. In the days before Blue Heron, men would remember narrow mine tunnels held up by wooden timber supports. They also recall paying for their own powder and fuses to blast down entire coal and paying for their own picks and shovels to break up the coal and load it into the coal cars. So looks like it kind of shows some of the pictures from the days of Blue Heron. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm from a later generation. I think it would be crazy if you had to buy your own supplies, you know, just to make your own money. D. The miners used a cutting machine to separate the coal seam from the mine bottom floor. The operation allowed the blasted coal to fall on the mine bottom before ease of loading. Let's see, in 1954, loading machine replaced the shovel and the miner for loading coal into the tram cars at Blue Heron. And that's pretty cool to see a man sitting on a coal car. The motor locomotive pulled a train of loaded tram cars from the mine to the tipple. And by the way, I was slightly wrong on that. It did not connect to the, or this did not connect to the mine. Looks like it was its own little car. That's cool to see how that would work, though. I guess really I had Nuttleberg in mind. If you've ever been to Nuttleberg, you know that they're from the mine, their mine to their tipple on the tracks. You know, they had all of an entire conveyor system. This looks like it's a machine, but regardless, that's really cool to see. Oh my God, look how that would work. Look how that would cut into the coal. And you know what? You would not want to be on the receiving end of that. If you had a mining accident, that would hurt. Like bad. So now that we've seen that, let's go inside the Blue Heron Mine. That's really cool how they have the name of it on there. That's good showmanship. Of course, we've got another mining car. And it looks like the mine itself has been closed off, which is a good thing, because you wouldn't want somebody to get in there and do something crazy stupid. But back there, it looks like there's another mining car, but it also looks like the mine has since then been caved in. Well, that has finally piqued my curiosity. I think it's really cool that they have their mine open-ish. But one of the interesting things that they have here at Blue Heron is, well, after it went belly up and they closed the town down in the 1930s, they took a lot of the buildings with it. But Big South Fork National River and Recreational Area, what they did is they built frames of where these old houses would have been. Like this right here, this would have been the workshop for the coal mine and the cars and all the machinery. In fact, it's got a photo of how that used to work right here. The shop. The shop building served as a repair terminal for motors and tram cars. The trestle once connected the shop to the main tipple structure. The switch on its trestle could send cars to the backup track adjacent to the shop, or directly into the shop building for repair. The shop also contained a supply of spare plaster, tram repair, and equipment for sharpening miners' drill bits. So, Yeah, that's how theirs used to work. Gotta think. Turn of the century. These were so much more different. If you look right there, you can actually see an original piece of the workshop. That's probably the only, well, that's really the only thing left, really. And across from all that, looks like they also have a, I want to say this is the powder magazine, but I'm probably wrong. Looks like there is a sign explaining what it is. The sand house. The sand house was actually a hopper for sorting fine sand. The sand was used on the rails of the tram tracks to provide locomotives with traction on the inclines, or steep inclines. Oh, so this is the sand house. Looks like this one's still standing. I mean, obviously, you wouldn't want to go inside, that's for sure. There's a lot of junk inside. But it's kind of cool that this building is still standing. In fact, speaking of the powder magazine, looks like it's just below the hill right here. Let's go check that out. Well, shucks. I think I missed it. Or maybe I just took the wrong trail. But since we are at the base of the hill here, we'll check out the foundations of the school and the church. It's another one of those foundational things that the park here has created. There it is. Well, we gotta take some more stairs. Again, that wasn't too bad of a hike. I've noticed a lot of the trails, or at least the trails that are kind of around in this area, they're pretty flat, pretty easy to handle if you ask me. Which that leads us to the I guess the frame of where the school used to be. Looks like at one point it was a one-room schoolhouse. But look, these were probably more than likely all the children that this particular school saw at any given time, which looks like about maybe 10, 11. And over in here, it's got a display case showing what school life was like back then. Certificate of promotion, admission to the high school. McCreary County Schools, Clifford Wilson in front of the Blue Heron Schoolhouse, mid-1940s. Looks like you've got more artifacts. Some old books from the time. You've heard of the Little Red Schoolhouse. Yes, I have. Schooling at Blue Heron. That's a historical marker that tells a little bit more about it. And of course, you know, you can't have a one-room schoolhouse without a furnace or a place to where you can cook food and whatnot. I mean, really, this was probably used to heat up the building. But an interesting story, my papaw, my late papaw, he grew up in Creston, North Carolina, and he grew up going to a one-room schoolhouse like this one. In fact, this was in the early 50s. He, well, especially during the winters, he had to come in by horse. But, you see, all the children that were coming to the elementary schools, they would have to bring their own food, their own canned goods from home, and the teachers would cook it for them. Just very interesting to see how things worked many, many years ago. Or probably not so long ago from what we're looking at now. And across from the schoolhouse, we have the frame of where the church used to be. You can see that inside they have a few pews and a podium where the pastor would have preached on Sunday and probably Wednesdays as well. But we're gonna walk up here. We're gonna check this out. You know, I kind of wish that maybe when all this went abandoned in the 30s, I wish that, you know, the mining companies hadn't well, at least I imagine, just up and tore down everything. Or maybe it was something that was done by the community because they didn't want anyone to get hurt. This is cool. It's like how you would have got up here at one point. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, it's the frame of what it used to be many, many moons ago. Just think, every Sunday or Wednesday, or Sunday and Wednesday, people would gather.
Say a few words.
Yep, exactly. They would listen to the preacher. And here's the display case. The Blue Heron Church, front steps from left to right. Gracie Waters, Francis Slavin, Gertie Ledbetter, Pearlie Ross, Betty Slavin, J.C. Slavin, Silas Ross, Mike Ledbetter, and Luke Ledbetter. And this is cool. Look, they have all the different things. Oh yes, and look, this is where they did the baptisms in the Big South Fork River. I was reading the map up here on the hill where I was, or where I started, I should say. Really the only other original building, well, not original building, but where one of these ghost foundations would be, is the bathhouse. So I don't know, we'll check that out real quick. Looks like it's not too far from the visitor center. And next we'll check out the company store, or where the company store would have been, in the superintendent's house. I believe we'll go inside the museum for a bit, and we'll see what life was like here in Blue Heron many, many moons ago. And after a little bit of walking, we have found the bathhouse. And cool, there is actually still a little bit of a foundation left in this one. Okay, I like this then. So you've got some photos of miners, probably more than likely getting off from the job, being down in the depths of the coal mine. And this is where they would have showered. This is where they would have changed out. And probably, I think this is also where their uniforms were cleaned too. This is cool. Okay, at least this foundation is left over. That's it. That's fascinating. Look, that's how it would have been done. And I like how they've covered it over the foundation, preserve it for future generations. And here it talks a little bit about it. The bathhouse. We put on a 2-day wildcat strike to get the bathhouse. Okay then. Well, that explains how they probably got that. The bathhouse at Justice Mine, its stearns represents a typical modern facility. It's similar to the former Blue Heron bathhouse. So you've got some little bit of graffiti right there, and where the sign has been ripped some. But if y'all want to read the marker, y'all can. I think I'm gonna save that for you guys. But now that we're right beside the museum, we'll check that out. And there's a couple of other places there as well. That bathhouse was really cool. I'm glad that there is at least one foundation, or at least one of the original foundations left. But I will say, I like their historical interpretation of things. I think that's probably what I like most about the Blue Heron ghost town, or for what it is for the most part. Look, they have a display of what the tipple looked like. It shows you how it used to operate. It's very cool that it's right in front of the the actual one. But you can see like all the different coal cars that used to come across the river. So I'm guessing there probably was another mine in that on the other side of the river. That's just awesome. Let's take a look at it from the other side. where there's more light, where we can get closer to. Look at that. So, yeah, the bridge might be closed. But that is awesome to see, like how they have it all set up for you to see of what it originally looked like. Like right there, there's the workshop where we came from not long ago, and I'm guessing this may have been the powder magazine that we never found. And you know what? I was right. They do have a tourist train that comes out through here. You know what? Next time I'm in the area, I'll have to take this train ride. I will put it on my list. And plus, I mean, Blue Heron's not that far from, well, I mean, 2.5 hours is still kind of far, but it's worth the drive. I'd say that this is better than the Smokies, or it has a lot of better points than the Smokies. And yes, I said that about my own home, the Great Smoky Mountain. Well, where I'm not far from. I mean, Cleveland's in the valley before you get to the Smokies. It's cool. They've got dinner, or they've got lunch cars. I'm guessing they would be. You can obviously tell that these train cars are really old, but they're updated. Now let's take a look at this train, and we'll probably go back to the Historical Interpretive Center. You know, that diesel train, it kind of reminds me of the one that's abandoned out in Frosthead State Park in Tennessee. Oh, but that's awesome. We'll have to get down there and take a better look at it. And in order to take a look at the locomotive, we had to go around the train. So it's like we came to one end, and now we gotta go the other way. I'm getting my exercise in today. It's pretty nice. And plus, I get to enjoy these train cars a little bit more. Right up until we get to the diesel car. Today turned out to be really pretty though. Even though we're in mid to late September now, it's still hot. And we finally made it. Big South Fork Scenic Railway. And now I'm almost certain now that the abandoned diesel car that's near Brushy Mountain in Petros, these are one and the same when it comes to models, except obviously this one's in way better shape. You know, I kind of hope that maybe someday they'll get that train car off the mountain, and they'll get it somewhere safe. But just check that out. That is so awesome to see one of those particular diesel locomotives in as good a shape as it is. I feel like, I don't know, something tells me that this came from Barthel, where we're probably going to head to next. And luckily enough, looks like there's a set of stairs right here. And if I'm not mistaken, this goes up to the superintendent's quarters, or where his house used to be. Let's check that out. Let's see what other artifacts are in this particular building. You can tell that they definitely took a look at the blueprints on a lot of these. By the way, look how big that rock is. Now that would be quite an interesting backyard to have something like that. Let's take a look at the superintendent's house, or the quarters, I should say. I believe this is the man right here, man himself. And you do not see TVs like that anymore. 9 years old, and I went to trapping. Huh. That's really cool to see an old TV like that. Of course, you've got some old knitting stuff, old light fixtures, their old phone. And it even says there, he was a good man. And here are some photos of the family. Tate Wright right there. Nora Wright, 13 years old in the early 40s. Lemmy Wright, I believe, anyway, he was the superintendent of this mining operation. There's J.C. Slavin at the inside of the mine. Still, I just like this old TV. Because you don't see TVs like that anymore. They don't make them like that. Nowadays, they're like almost paper thin in a way. I'm guessing what that used to be the maybe where they just used to store, like, you know, like an outshed, you know, where they would store stuff. That was very interesting. Definitely showed an insight on what life was like here at Blue Heron. But the next ghost foundation that is here at Blue Heron is the company store. I owe my soul to the company store. Do, 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 do. Or at least that's how the song went. Because you know, back then during the mining days, well, if you worked for the coal company, they did not pay you. They paid you in tokens. Of course, that was before Franklin Delano Roosevelt got elected, and well, he created the minimum wage system. But you can see some of the old different types of things that they had here. And let me see. It all started as a tool shed, and they kept adding to it. So actually, maybe this wasn't exactly a, well, maybe it was. So it was some, I don't know. You can read that, but I know that usually a company store in the coal mining towns, well, you paid with tokens. But this one may have actually been where you could pay with money. There's the store owners. You can see what it used to look like. And this was quite a store when it was operational. But now it's just a bunch of beams and a shed. A little bit eerie in a way. But it's really cool how they've created this community, or this representational or historical interpretive center. There we go. That was really cool. But now that we've seen all that, let's see some of the stuff that they have at the Historical Interpretive Center. I know we saw that that display, that miniature of what the coal tipple looked like, but I didn't see all of it. I think it's mostly historical boards explaining its history, but I don't know that. That's why we're going to check it out. And right as we got up here, here's a photo of all the miners standing outside the tipple. Present day, turn of the century. They're during the 30s. And while that kind of shows how, from left to right, kind of explains the names of the men who had their photo taken. It's pretty cool that they were able to do that. And around here, looks like they've got a lot of other historical markers, just explaining its history. If you all want to pause this, you all can read it. I'm just looking around to see what different types of artifacts they have here. That's pretty awesome. They've got miners' caps. They've got one uniform. Looks like they've got some other stuff here and there. Blasting caps. Just everything that they would have needed while out on the job. Big old yellow bag there. At least we not forget the shoes. Oh, and this is awesome. This is a miniature diorama of what the entire town looked like. Oh, now that's cool. You can see where all the original houses were. It's almost like a, oh, what do they call it? A Beetlejuice diorama. By the way, is anyone seen like the new Beetlejuice movie? I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. It's a little more on the lighter side compared to the first one. Like Beetlejuice doesn't feel as evil. He feels like an anti-hero. Oh, and that's how it worked. So yeah, there was another coal operation on the other side of the river. But I'm still sad we can't go across it today. Maybe in the future. There's enough here to make another video. God, this place is amazing. Here at the depot, they've got a movie in the bookstore, and they've also got a movie playing over here. But also, as you all saw, they have a lot of historical placards talking about the history of this great town, or a town lost in the mist of time, as I guess they would say. But anyway, you guys, this is gonna be another vlog for another day. Remember, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care. That y'all want to see more awesome videos. So without further ado, you guys, this vlog is over. Well, looks like that's not happening today.